Good morning, Internet. This is Vladimir Nemchinov coming to you from frozen Cleveland. I also have a website, investsteady.com, as well as on YouTube as well. So good morning. Today we're going to be talking about the wealth game, the 10 levels of wealth game, and specifically level number 3, starter emergency fund. Okay, so as you remember, first step is budgeting. Okay, budgeting set up foundation for us to see what's coming in, what's going out. Okay, from there we can find a different, a little, what is it called? Basically a little spread between, okay, this is how much coming in, this is how much going out, and this is how much I have extra, and I can do and put towards my plan, financial plan or financial game. Okay, so first step is budgeting. Second step is protection. Because no matter what kind of ways you do it, whether you don't have any debt and you want to put a lot of money into retirement or build an emergency fund and then retirement, you need to be protected because in the short term something can happen, and in that case, it doesn't matter what you build, your family gonna be in trouble. Of course, that is provided if there is a family, spouse and kids. So after that, after life insurance, after budget, after life insurance, after will, what's next? Next is starter emergency fund. And what's the purpose of the starter emergency fund? It is to have this little bit of cushion in case something happens. Okay. Your car tire blow up, okay, you need to be towed for some reason. All these things are kind of little ankle biters, but if you don't have $1,000 in a starter emergency fund, what you're going to do? You're going to borrow money. And that's the point of starter emergency fund, to prevent us from going back into debt. Okay? And so this is what we're going to talk about it today. The step number 4 is actually to pay off all your consumer debt. It's usually by far the longest or the most complex or hardest, because if you have a lot of debt, it's going to take you a while to get out of it. Technically, the steps after all these in a big scope of life, this step number 4 is little. You pay off the debt in 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. And you have the rest of your life to build your wealth, okay, and play this wealth game. But the hardest is to pay off the debt. So in order for us not to get back into the debt, we have a starter emergency fund. Once we are done with paying off all our debt, then we actually crank it up and put away 3 to 6 months of expenses into that fully funded emergency fund. That is the wealth game, okay? How to save it faster than you think, even on a tight budget. Again, those are the 2 variables that you can manipulate. Bring more money every month, okay, or spend less money every month, or the sum of both. Okay, if you do a little bit saving and you do more income, then that difference will grow, and you can put that towards your emergency fund to save up $1,000, because $80, $83 a month, that will get you there in 1 year. But you don't want to take that long. You want to be month to month. You want to do side hustles, whatever you need to do to get to that 1,000 right away, because then it unlocks your next level and you start paying off your debt. Okay? All right, so this is what the outline for today is. All right, so let's see why this step changes your mindset more than your bank balance. Because especially if you live on a tight budget, especially if your money is tight, it gives you this cushion that you know, okay, I'm good. I'm safe for now. It's a little safety, little tiny, ever so slightly cushion that prevents you from going back into debt. Okay, so let's look at some questions online here. All right. Debt first or emergency fund? This is basically my first week trying to become financially literate. Great. Good job. We'll see how old you are here. Maybe later. There's a lot of text here. But this is very good for all of you out there. The younger you are, the sooner you get on the wealth game, the wealthier you will be. Because time can compound money. Okay, it can compound it against you in credit, or it can compound it for you. And your wealth grows day after day, month after month, year after year, for your whole life. And maybe your kid's life as well. So depending how you plan it. So recently I decided I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Man, that's good. And feeling broke all the time. So I sat down and worked out my income and my known monthly expenses. What I realized is I'm actually doing okay on my living expenses. But somewhere in the range of $500, $700 was just getting blown on eating out, work, lunches, and drinking. Obviously, I gotta eat, but entire rest of my paycheck, it felt like I've been literally pissing my money away and not having anything to show for it, but a couple extra pounds around the waist. So, wow, this is amazing. And this actually talks right towards what I'm preaching, what I'm talking about. Budget. The first thing she did, she looked at what's coming in and what's going out. And she realized, I think it's a she, overturned mushroom. Maybe not she, maybe he. But they realized that, wow, I'm just wasting $500 to $700 every month. You know, that is $600 to $8,400 a year. That is a lot of money. My vehicle costs less than that. FYI. So that's why it's a first step, because you don't know. You don't know when you go out to lunch at work. What is it? $20, $30, whatever. If I'm subscribed to a bunch of subscriptions, what is it? $20, 20, $50 a month. Not a big deal. What about breakfast? What about dinner? I go out for dinner. I go to the movies. All this stuff adds up. In this person's case, it's to $500 to $700 a month. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Which doesn't feel that way when you do just think of it in one transaction per time. Yeah, I'm going out for lunch, $30. It's $30, not a big deal. But when you add them all up, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So $700, let's go medium of that. So it's $600, right, per month. So you divide 600 by 30, it's $20 every day, whole day every day. That's just extras. $20, that's a lot of money. Okay, I'm getting off of my soapbox. All right, so I've said to learning about savings, investments, etc. That all, etc. And that's all well and dandy. I feel like I've got a good general understanding of where I am and at where I want to be as soon as possible. Very good. Okay, where I'm at following the 50-30-20 rule. Let's see. Food budget overlaps with wants budget. I'll survive. 8,300 in debt. Ooh. See? If you just cut off that 700 a month, you paid off your debt in 1 year, no problem. 900 on credit line, the rest on a very high interest car payment. Oof. 0 emergency fund, putting 6% of income into 401k, what employee matches. Okay, out of step. because it will help you to get out of debt faster, and cumulatively you will be better off and faster off to your goals if you stop your investing at this time for this person. Putting about 6% of income into ESPP, matched at 15%, employee with WMT, saving budget of $360, not including what I put into 401k or ESPP. Okay, so budget, first step was great idea. Very good, very well done. After that, all out of order. All out of order. Okay. Where I want to be at: zero debt, $5,500 in emergency fund, able to save and or invest the full $360 per month. Budget. All right, I'm not exactly following on that. Okay, extra $300 plus from not paying off debt, food budget, no longer eating into want budget. Okay. Obviously, it would have been ideal to have an emergency fund before taking on debt. Live and learn, though. Okay, both of these things are incorrect, in my opinion. My question is basically the title. Is it wiser to pay off the debt first before saving, or should I try to split my savings budget between both goals until I have at least some padding if something goes wrong? I understand that as long as I am paying interest, I'm essentially losing money on my savings. But I also know all too well that without real emergency fund, credit in the emergency fund, credit is the emergency fund. Exactly. That's actually how I got the additional debt on top of my car. Anyways, I'd love to hear some outside perspective on my situation. Okay, so very good question, very good beginning, and then a little bit out of the order. Okay, budget, first thing, you've done it, great. Second step, protection. Seems like you're a single person, nothing says anything about family. Don't need life insurance. Moving on to step number 3 is emergency fund of $1,000. Okay, so that is that cushion that I was just talking about. $1,000. That means you do not go into debt, just like we just read. You don't go into debt. You have $1,000 for, let's see how much he has. $900 on a credit line. See, that's exactly what I think it's a she. They said that they went into debt because they didn't have emergency fund. So $900 is very close to $1,000. If they had that, they wouldn't have this an additional $900 in debt. Okay, so where are we going here from here in that person's example? So stop all the investing, everything. So now you have $500 to $700 monthly, plus you have whatever your income is. I don't think they shared how much they make, so we don't know. But now you have that plus whatever we're going into the retirement to deal with. That's a margin that we can now work with. All right, so we take that margin. In your case, in the worst case scenario, it's $500 per month. You will have emergency fund of $1,000 in 2 months. But of course, if it's a $700 or more every month, plus stopping the plus stopping the retirement investing, okay, that's gonna get you $1,000 the first month. Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, we're done with that. Next would be paying off the debt. All right, the first question she had, debts first or emergency fund? Mathematically, see, the problem with mathematics is that people never consider the risk. Okay, and if you have risk, if you consider risk, you wouldn't go into debt in the first place. You wouldn't borrow to buy your car because there's risk. If you can't pay, you're in trouble. Okay, so people don't consider that. But now they're thinking about mathematics after they got into debt, so which is fallacy. All right, so once we have $1,000, now put all that $500 to $700 to $1,000 probably a month towards paying off your debt. I think they also mentioned how much is on their car, so I can't speak how long it will take. But emergency fund, 1 month probably, $1,000 starter emergency fund. From there, it's pay off all the debt. So $900 will be paid the next month, and from there is vehicle. Okay, if it's $10,000 vehicle and you only put $1,000 a month, well, you're gonna be done by the end of the year with all this debt paying, and then from there you can put $1,000 towards your full emergency fund, which would be the next level in wealth game. And from there, once you saved up 3 to 6 months of emergency fund, off you go to invest. Put money into 401k up to match. In this case, 6% of your income will be matched. Nothing can beat match. Okay, from there, you put into Roth IRA, whatever the rest of your, would be what, 9%. 6% 401k, 9% in Roth IRA for it to grow tax-free. And then if you still have money, you can put more into 401k. And so on, you will be on your way to build the wealth, build retirement with tax advantages. And then when your income grows, then you can expand and go into taxable accounts as well. Okie dokie. So this was a good question, and the beginning was great. Great case in point with budgeting. Start with that. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, this is Vladimir Nemchinov with InvestStudy.com coming to you out of the frozen Cleveland, Ohio. Good morning, whether you're on your way to work or if you're working out like I just did before I came here. Enjoy. Hopefully these questions and answers will help you to work on your strategy for your family. How are you going to build this wealth? Are you going to be like status quo like everybody else, borrow on the cars, borrow on credit cards, live and spend money that you don't have, maybe to impress people that you don't care about? I'm not sure if that's even applicable. I don't know. I don't know why people do that. Like in the house, you have a TV. Maybe if you have friends over for football games, of course you want to show off your big, whatever, 100-inch TV or whatever they go to these days. But this is going to stunt your growth, you know. And then at 40, and we talked about, let me go into this bunny trail. Okay, so we're going to have retirement calculator. Okay, I should have something already saved up here. So let's see. Let me show you a pretty cool trick. So if I do it this way, maybe it will be better. Okay. All right. Can you see most of it? Okay. So current age. I am 40 years old. Okay. I'm 40 years old. Annual pre-tax income. That only matters for the increase. Let's not, I don't know if it's going to let us. It's not going to let us. Let's say, well, let's ask ChatGPT. What is average income in USA? Okay. I don't know if average is what I'm looking for, but let's see. So 51,000, median actually is 51,000 according to census, blah, blah, blah. Average 63,000. Okay, let's say I'm making median. Well, let's stay with $50,000. Okay, $50,000. Current retirement savings, I got 0. Okay, monthly contributions. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So if we go to percentage and we switch to 15%, right? That's what we're talking about here. It's going to be $625. Monthly budget in retirement. That is too much information. Let's say I can live on 70% of what I make right now, $50,000. Okay. Other retirement income, 0. Retirement age 67, life expectancy, okay. Let's see, pre-retirement rate of return. Okay, S&P 500, 10 to 12%. Let's go conservative, 10%. Past retirement age of, I I don't want to move my money from somewhere that it makes 10% into somewhere it makes 5%. So we're going to keep it at 10%. Inflation rate, I guess we'll keep it at that. Annual income increased 2%. Let's say that, okay? So if we hit calculate, all right, retirement savings at age 67. What you will have, 1 million. What you will need, $726,000. All right, and this is where recommended current path. Okie dokie. So, oh wow, interesting. Well, that's for age 67. Okay, and from there, of course, it goes up if it still stay invested. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have $1 million if I'm investing 15% of $50,000 every year. Okay, I'm 40. Okay, now let's say I am 20 years old. Okay, and I make let's say $15. Okay, but 6 years ago now, 5.5 years, I was making $15 an hour. All right, so that would be $30,000 a year. Okay, so I have zero currently in savings. Same thing, contributing monthly 15%. Okay, and everything else is the same. Okay, so we're calculating. Let's see. What did I mess up? Oh, $30 annual income. Okay, that's very little. 30,000, right? And then we're calculating. So if you're 20 years old and all you do is put away 15% of that, what would be the amount? So 10% will be 3,000, right? And then another 5% would be $4,500. Let's see, $375 a month. You will have almost $5 million. You know why? Because you have $20 on top of me. Not $20, 20 years for money to compound. So and this is where you will be. Okay, so this is where you go, age 51. So age 43, you will have $414,000 at 10%. Is that crazy or what? Okay, so current path, age 67, 4.8 million. This is a lot of money, and the only difference is, and you even invest less than I do, but because of the longer time period, this is what you will have. At 95, you will have 60 million. Oh my goodness. That's why I opened my 8-year-old's Roth IRA account. He is, well, let's for fun, let's check it out. So he is 8. Oh man. Well, let's do, so they only can allow 18 to 80. What if I start at 18, right? And to figure out that we need to add 10 years to retirement, right? So it's going to be 77. So if 18-year-old and retires at 77, starts putting away, and so that, okay, so can do this. We can do, let's go 1,000, okay? And then we're going to put away 250. It's monthly. So let's go $20. $20 monthly. We don't worry about this. We have zero. Age 77. It doesn't matter. 10%. Rate of inflation. We're gonna put 0 here if it allows us. Okay. Inflation rate doesn't matter. Calculate. So this is what my 8-year-old will have. Over $500,000, $661,000 if he puts $20 a month. Which last year I put $250 into his Roth IRA, but to put money there, you have to earn money. So he was cutting grass mainly. That's how he made all his money. He helps me occasionally on the house, but I pay him like $1 for projects or whatever. So not a big deal. But with grass cuts, he gets paid $15, $20. So that's very good. So that's how much he will have from $20 a month. That's amazing. All right, moving on. Okay, should I pay off debt or build an emergency saving fund? Hello, I have made $4,000 from a large online sale. I have $12,000 in credit card debt and no savings of any kind. Should I use the $7,000 to pay off a large chunk of the debt, or save it and use other income sources to pay off the debt instead? What do you all think? My uncle told me to just pay off as much debt as I could, but I figured it would be wiser to put some aside to save for emergencies. Since I recently had an emergency and was panicking because I thought I may not be able to work for a time and had no savings of any kind. In the end, injury was not totally debilitating, broken ring finger, and I was able to work, but still, it scared me. Well, this is a good example. Right now, as a matter of fact, I do not have long-term disability insurance, right? So if something happens to me and I can't work, we are in trouble. The life insurance will not kick in, but I'm not going to have my income, okay? So long-term disability, I think it's called, is also a very important thing to have. All right, so back to this question. $7,000 from a large online sale. I have $12,000 in debt. Uncle says put everything towards the debt. That is the problem with that. If you put everything towards the debt and then you have some kind of setback, some kind of emergency, what are you going to do? You're going to go right back into debt. And that's what we want to avoid with this emergency fund, a starter emergency fund of $1,000. So you put $1,000 in there, put everything else on your debt. Okay? Wipe that off. Wipe off 6,000 of it. You will have 6,000 more left, and then allocate money towards it to pay it, and that's what will help you with that. Okie dokie. Moving right along. Thank you guys for joining this morning for this live early in the morning from Cleveland, Ohio, talk about finances, figure out strategy, figure out what step to take next, how to plan your wealth game, how to take one step at a time, one level at a time in the wealth game to get you set up for your retirement and just get you wealthy and away from living paycheck to paycheck. That is my goal. Nobody taught me that when I was 20. Just like we looked at the calculator, it's phenomenal wealth if you make little steps early. Okay, now you will need to make larger steps if you are older. But that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm doing. So let's look at the next question. What's the best way to actually start a small emergency fund when I'm essentially living paycheck to paycheck? I'm sure this has been asked before, but I really need a solid plan to help me out. Like many these days, I pretty much live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm working hard to get out of this cycle. Very good. I'm a single dad working 2 jobs and have cut costs as best as I can. I really need to start a small emergency fund, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about it. How much should I put aside every week? Should I just start with 10 a week into savings account, or should I open another checking account? I'd like to keep it separate from my main checking account, so I'm just wondering what's the best way to go is. Any help would be appreciated. So I have a couple of questions here. Question in the question. First of all, where do you put emergency fund? Open a saving account. Okay, go to your bank. Usually you can do it online, even on your app. Go to your bank, say I want to open a saving account. They'll just send you the information. You will have access to it. Easy peasy. You can then automatically start transferring or set automatic transfer from your checking account to your saving. Okay, sorry about that. It's been 30 minutes already. Wow, time flies when we talk finances. So, okay, back to this question. What's the best way to actually start small emergency fund when I'm essentially living paycheck to paycheck? There's two questions in one that I would separate. One, open saving account through your app in your bank. You can call them. They're going to easily open it for you. You can have access immediately from your app. From there, you can move money manually, or when you're at the point where you can set it up automatic and not be afraid that it's going to overdraw your checking account or anything like that, you then automatically set it to go every however often you get paid, or however often you want it to be taken out of your checking account and then deposit into saving account. This way, you do have the money separated from your checking, so you're not going to accidentally spend it. You will need to transfer it back for you to spend it. So hopefully you will be disciplined enough not to do it. Okay, so to the main question is, how do I do it? He asked if I can transfer $10 a week into a saving account. That is where budget comes in, okay? Budget will tell you, okay, this is what's coming in, this is what's going out, this is how much you can put into your saving account. Is it $10? Maybe you can put $1,000 right away, okay? And you will have it. He doesn't mention debt anywhere. Hopefully he doesn't have debt, which is great. That he can just work slowly towards building the full emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of his expenses, okay? It is great not to have debt. All right, so this is that. All right, let's go to the next question. When to use emergency fund versus specific savings. So I have 6 months of expenses saved in emergency fund and a fair amount of money in a Roth and brokerage account. I have also saved some money for my next move, though I do not plan on moving in the soonest I would move. The soonest I would move would be 11 months from now. Does it make sense to have this move fund when the money could be earning me more money invested in the stock market? I understand that emergency funds are for emergencies, but I really feel like I'm wasting money by having this extra money saved. Okay, so yes, if you plan on moving, depending how much you have there, you didn't say any amounts, but if you have emergency fund and then you have another fund, let's call it for your move, and you move it in 11 months, you don't have to keep it there. You can budget into, let's say it's $1,100 for you to move, right? So you can put, starting today, you can put $100 or budget $100 a month, okay? And by 11 months later, you will have $1,100, okay? If it's $2,200, you put $200 every month, okay? But this money you can apply wherever you are on the wealth game, okay? You have emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. I'm assuming you have no debt. So if you have no debt, then this money could be put towards your investing, okay? 15% of your income. Okay, now these money already, you have it, so taxes on it were paid. That means you can put that into Roth IRA, depending how much it is, and you can prepay Roth IRA basically right now, which is in the beginning of the year. So that was 3 months ago. So in the beginning of the year, or you can max out last year Roth IRA if you haven't yet. We do see that you have Roth IRA, but you didn't specify how much you put in there or any numbers whatsoever. So yes, you can invest those. If it's not more than 15% of your income, then that money will be freed up, and then you can save up again for your move if it's in 11 months. All right. And that's how you can do with any of your major expenses. You just put them into your budget every month, and then when you need the money, you have the full amount. For example, I used to have Mint Mobile. And Mint Mobile, the catch there is you have to prepay for a year of your cell phone use, right? So to me, it doesn't matter if I put $30 a month, or if I put in one time I paid $360. Okay, so I pay $360 for the year, and then I budget $30 every month for a year, and then I have $360 again to pay off the next bill. So that's how you can do with major purchases or something you plan for, save for. That's how you do it. All right, moving on. What is this question? How to budget monthly for emergency fund. I'm in between jobs and trying to figure out how to build an emergency fund. Well, it's going to be very hard in between jobs. I'm shutting down my company and have accepted a job with our largest customer. We've made a lot of money in the recent years, but I haven't been diligent in saving it. Oh man, that's have nothing saved up. See, that's one of the hard things that people think, oh, I need more money. No, if you waste money, you will just waste more money. Not gonna have anything to show for it. Like I was saying, 5.5 years, I was making $15 an hour, and I had several properties already. Okay, so tenants were paying me money from those properties. It took me a long time to save up for them and buy them, but I had them, and I was making $15 an hour. So it's not how much you make, but what you do with the money. If you every time update your car, if you every 2 years you get a new car, well, all your money is going to go there. You're going to have a nice car temporarily, but who's going to make money? The dealership is going to make money. They don't push leases because it's better for you. They push leases because they make more money off of the car, because they lease. They make all the money while you paying for all the, depreciation, okay? And then they can still turn around and sell the car for a good, pretty penny. I'm filling out new higher paperwork, and I have options to send money to multiple accounts. I just last month opened HISA. Yesterday I didn't know what HISA is, but today I was listening to a podcast and I was like, it's high yield saving account. Okay, now I know what HISA is. And have budgeted to save up to 6 months of expenses. Instead of everything depositing into our main checking account, I'd prefer to send a portion of this money directly to HISA. That way, it's out of sight, out of mind. Okay, so 6 months of expenses will be roughly $40,000. I was ultimately planning on building to $50,000. Then once I keep accruing to $75,000, I'll transfer $25,000 into taxable brokerage and repeat. 401k and Roth IRA will be maxed out. Okay, so this is a high earner. Okay, we're reading further. Salary $230,000. So obviously this is not your average or median $50,000 income. So, which is great. Good job getting this job. Now you want to be wise with it. Of course, you're maxing out the Roth IRA and 401k, which is amazing. You can do that. It doesn't matter how you do it. If it works for you to just open high yield saving account and have it your job, just move the money there automatically, you can, or you can do it from your checking. It's going to be also out of sight, out of mind. I like to have more control, so I would have it in one checking, and then I would decide where it goes any given month or whatever. So what I would recommend is, the only thing I would change in your plan is to, when you're saying you're going to build up to $50,000, well, that's your plan for emergency fund. But from there, once it grows to 75, which is probably going to be less than probably a couple times a year, looks like, then you will transfer that 25,000 into brokerage account. Okay, so this is what brokerage account is. It's brokerage account. You put money there, and it grows. And when you take it out, you pay taxes on it. Okay, there's no tax advantage basically. And so what you're losing, but between the time when you have $50,000 in your saving account, right? So your HISA. To when you have 75, so that time money doesn't move really, doesn't grow much in your high yield saving account, okay, where once you got to $50,000, just put all that money above it Just go directly into brokerage account. Once it's hit it, it's going to grow at 10, hopefully more percent a year. Okay? Do that. You don't need to accumulate it here and then move it. Accumulate here, then move it. Extra work, just once you got 50,000, forget about that saving account. It's going to be an emergency fund account. And the rest of the money, stop contribution there, and then from there, just transfer it. Oh, I think I understand. You thinking that your employer will move the money there all the time, and once it got to 75, yeah, I would change that. See this in this case, I would just have it to my checking. From checking, I would move it to savings until I have $50,000. Then I stop moving to saving, and I start sending it to the brokerage account, where it's going to grow at a higher interest rate. Okay, this is what I would do. Okay, and let's take one more question. Okay. So is 30K too much to have as an emergency fund? Well, like we just were looking at the previous question, I think that's lady. I don't know why I think it's always ladies, but their emergency fund was 50,000. So let's look at your numbers. I'm 29-year-old and just got a raise to $80,000 a year. Very good. Along with the bonus of 6K, 3,600 after taxes, of course. Living in LA, in LA maybe not that big of a amount. Monthly expenses average around $2,000. Wow, great. Ideally, I know 6 months is the general rule, but I tend to get paranoid and want to know if I'm overreacting. Okay, so you're saying a 6 month, that would be $12,000, and you want to overreact and have it $30,000. I'm wondering if I should split my emergency fund into half and add $15,000 instead of use the other 15K as the sinking fund for non-emergency items. Edit. Should also add that I do not have any debt. Very good. The 30,000 is in HISA, and I have maxed out my Roth IRA since 2022. Wow, 29-year-old. Very good. Total net worth is around 70K right now, but only 30K is liquid. Okay. Yes. Either way, you're doing great. You have no debt. It's splitting hairs, kinda. $15,000 is a lot of money, and it's probably better off being invested if you're maxing out Roth IRA. So let's see. So if you make $80,000 a year, okay, that would be times. Okay, so 12,000 is what your 15% will be. So you need to put 15% of your income into retirement. If you're maxing out your Roth IRA, and have been, it was $7,000 last year, 75 this year. So you have quite some money to go into now your 401k if they have that at your job. If they don't, you can put it in the brokerage account, but you need to put that away into your retirement. So it's not a big deal in a big scheme of things, but myself, I'm very conservative, so I have 6 months of emergency fund. It's enough for me. Even if I can't find a job that I'm getting paid right now, I can find a couple jobs that pay less, or I have other opportunities as well. So yeah, it's not like you'll be sitting for 12 months and looking for a job. You'll be hustling. You're a hustler. You set up pretty good. So very good on everything you do. The plan is to stick to the wealth game level by level. Start with budget, see how much margin you have to then figure out how much life insurance you need to protect your family. From there, you will have $1,000 emergency fund. If you already have done that, then you pay off your taxes. You pay off your debt. From there, next level would be to max out your emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of your expenses. From there, you put 15% into your retirement. Okay, and so on through the wealth game levels. After you put 15% into your retirement, see if you have kids, you want to put 529 planned for their education. Once you do that, see, okay, what's my next plan? Let me then pay off my house, okay? And then once that paid off, max out everything you can for your retirement. Obviously, this is just percentages so that you actually live your life. You still have cars, they break, you replace them once in a while, but you don't work for a dealer and make, man, I was in the dealership last week. We're buying a vehicle for the job, and man, the dealership, 2-story building. There are several lifts inside the dealership with 4 cars on each lift, and there were also older cars, classic cars, restored. Man, beautiful facility. Who's paying for it? People who buy cars there. Okay, guys. I'm done for today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining, so much for watching. I hope this helps you to build your plan towards your wealth game. Let's do invest steady. Invest steady, compound your net worth. Let's do a little by little, every month, every paycheck, every year, until we don't worry about our jobs, we don't worry about the economy, because we are on the wealth game, and we're progressing, we're saving money, we're investing money, money grows, and I wish you well, guys. Thank you for joining. Have a good one.